Well, the most controversial US presidential election in years is reaching its climax. Voters will go to the polls in just a few hours. Now, both candidates have made the economy a priority, talking about jobs and trade and generally tearing each other's plans to bits. Well, we sent our senior business producer, Azhar Sukri, to Iowa, one of the battleground states that will be important to the outcome of the vote. This time he went to a Trump rally in Sioux City, where the economy has been a factor in his growing support.
They'd waited since before dawn to see him. And even though Donald Trump has said it many times during his campaign, his call to make America great again electrified the crowd in Sioux City.
Our economy's growth is anemic, the worst since the Great Depression. You don't hear that. My jobs plan begins with a proposal to lower taxes on American business from 35% to 15%. And that's a massive tax cut for the family farms and the folks in Iowa that work so hard.
These supporters came from all over the Midwestern states, of which Iowa is one. Many are farmers, blue-collar workers and ex-war veterans. Trump has built his campaign around this core support base, focusing on family values, and he promises to boost military spending and cut corporate taxes.
For me personally, I like for his plans, his tax plan to reduce the tax from 35% to 15% is really appealing to me, because my father owns a company that he started from nothing, and my father and I constantly talk about what we would use the extra money to do and help our employees.
My husband is a farmer, and our grain prices are lower than they have been for quite a while, and it's far more difficult to support our family that way.
And even though Iowa's economy is growing, wages here have risen at a slower pace than the national average, boosting his support in this key swing state. In fact, based on October data, wages in many battleground states such as Florida, Pennsylvania, Maine, Nevada and Colorado have all lagged behind the rest of the country, giving Trump another weapon to wield against his opponent. It's no surprise that Donald Trump is spending his last campaign push in the Midwest, in places like this in Iowa. It's a place where society feels that the American dream has passed it by. Many of the people here describe themselves as staunch Christians and want the government to play as little a part in their lives as possible. Donald Trump has heard their wishes and repeats them back to his audience. With the race for the White House tightening, his strategy seems to be working. Azhar Sukri, TRT World, Sioux City, Iowa.
And Azhar joins us live now from Sioux City. Azhar, you've been talking to people in Iowa quite a bit now. What have they been telling you about the two candidates? Who do they trust more with the economy on balance?
Hello and welcome from Sioux City. Yes, we have been talking to a lot of candidates, supporters here in Iowa, in particular the Donald Trump campaign. The queue to get into the convention center just had spread all the way out behind where I'm standing. It's much quieter now, apart from some of the traffic behind me. But in terms of trust, yes, it's over here, it's pretty clear cut. It's Donald Trump that they trust with the stewardship of the economy. They like his message that he will cut taxes, simplify the tax code, as you heard in the package over there. And they are also very keen on his message that he's also going to get tough on places like China and Mexico in terms of trade. So here in Iowa, he has been polling quite strongly. The latest Des Moines Register poll showed him about 7 percentage points ahead of Hillary Clinton.
Wow, that's quite a lead he has there. Azhar, it's just an optical illusion, but for a moment there I thought a big white truck was going to run you over. Let me just get to the broader picture across the country, Azhar. From California to New York, you know, Trump's a billionaire. He's an outsider. He's got lots of rich friends. But Clinton is a Washington insider, but she's not nearly as rich. I mean, I'm just wondering if those things make a difference in voters' minds. You know, across the country, who do people think has the better economic plan?
That really is an interesting question because it's quite a difficult one to average out across the country. You really have to drill down into the states, into individual communities and demographic sectors to get an idea of that. As we've been talking to, as I mentioned there in the package, to very conservative evangelical Christians, it's Donald Trump. But if you look across onto the East Coast, for example, Hillary Clinton does have an advantage even on economic issues. That's being played out today, in fact, in the markets. We're having a very strong day on the markets today. The Dow Jones, S&P 500, both up about 2%. Also, the Mexican peso rising very strongly, the biggest rise in about a month. All of this, of course, a reaction to the FBI's announcement yesterday that they are not pursuing the criminal investigation into Hillary Clinton's email issues. That giving her a very strong boost.
I'm sorry to do this to you.
That's being played out.
Just before you go, your producer out there with you sent us this rather strange video, and I want you to tell me what you've been up to. Azhar, this has some sort of serious point to it. What are you trying to demonstrate here?
Yes, Andre Pierre Duplessis, there will be retribution for that. That is the latest filter that one of the support groups of the Hillary Clinton campaign has put out. It's an attempt to get out the vote for the Democratic campaign. You can put that filter on your Snapchat app and make yourself look like Hillary Clinton, although I'm not entirely sure whether
Azhar, there is actually more than a passing resemblance. Thank you, Azhar in Sioux City. Thank you very much.